Two steps.
You know what I didn't do?
What didn't you do?
I didn't set the drum.
Ah,
Should I set the drum? Do you think I should set the drum?
sure. Set the drum.
I'll set the drum. If I could just remember what the setting is, that makes it easier. If I could just remember what the setting is. You think that's loud enough?
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, my friend. God's blessings upon you. Let's praise the Lord together, my friend. We have all awakened in God's shelter. Now we come to praise His name together. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good, my friend. My friend. Sing Hosanna. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Allah in the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense. With His love, our spirits are illumined as we glorify His name. Our hearts are blessed. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My friend. My friend. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My friend. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone out there in Facebook land and everyone here in the Zoom? Who do we have in Zoom? Let's see. Good morning, Utah. And good morning. Let's see. That looks like I can't
Terry.
make the name. Hey there, Terry. How you doing? And
Aloha.
Alawapa. Who's this with a D? I'm not sure.
Yahavas.
The Dahabes. Good morning. We're probably mutilating the name, but good morning. And Jeremiah, of course, Jeremiah is not on site today. He's elsewhere, but he's still in charge of all the tech stuff. So if anything goes wrong, we can still blame Jeremiah. Um, And happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. And we have a special guest here in the studio. Of course, we have Nevada. Good morning, Nevada. How are you? You're doing well. And we have the lovely and talented Nini Ha. Good morning, Nini. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good
Chào
morning.
anh.
We're so glad that you chose to join us this morning. And again, happy Mother's Day, everybody out there, to the mothers and the mother figures and the mothers to be, and anything else you want to add to it. Have you chosen a prayer for today, Daryl?
I have, in fact.
You have?
Yes,
Please share this prayer with us.
I will. Magnified be thy name, O Lord my God. Thou art he whom all things worship, and who worshipeth no one, who is the Lord of all things, and is the vassal of none, who knoweth all things, excuse me, who knoweth all things, and is known of none. Thou didst wish to make thyself known unto men. Therefore, thou didst through a word of thy mouth bring creation into being and fashion the universe. There is none other God except thee, the fashioner, the creator, the almighty, the most powerful. I implore thee by this very word that has shone forth above the horizon of thy will to enable me to drink deep of the living waters through which thou hast vivified the hearts of thy chosen ones and quicken the souls of them that love thee, that I may at all times and under all conditions turn my face wholly towards thee. Thou art the God of power, of glory, and of bounty. No God is there beside thee, the supreme ruler, the all glorious, the omniscient. This is a prayer by Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Daryl. Now, for those of you who have been following, as you know, we are studying the seven valleys. And I don't know if we made clear, Daryl. Obviously, this book is actually the seven valleys and the four valleys. What did I do with my book? But the four valleys is sort of like a more abbreviated version of the seven valleys. Am I incorrect in saying that? Just another kind of approach to looking
Uh,
at the spiritual journey?
yes and no.
Yes and no?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so I don't know if we're going to go into the four valleys, but right now we are in the seven valleys and we're in the valley of unity. But I got to tell you, since last week I was thinking of something, and I had a question. How do you know that you're supposed to go on the journey? What if you just don't even know? And I remembered something that I had read in Gleanings, in which Baha'u'llah, this won't take long, actually talks about what he refers to, and what I find others have referred to as the rational faculty.
Mhm.
Okay, and in Gleanings 95, he starts out by, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Um, let's see. Know thou that according to what thy Lord, the Lord of all men, hath decreed in his book, the favors vouchsafed by him unto mankind have been and will ever remain limitless in their range. And then he gets into, talking about the various senses that we have, the sense of sight and so forth, and the senses of hearing, of the heart, and the like. And then he says, every one of these gifts is an undoubted evidence of the majesty, the power, the ascendancy, the all embracing knowledge of the one true God, exalted be his glory. It gets into a little bit more about the various senses and so forth. But in the last two paragraphs, I mean, the senses that we are, most familiar with, um, in the last two paragraphs of Gleanings 95, he says, these gifts are inherent in man himself. And then he gets into again, well, he says, that which is preeminent above all other gifts is incorruptible in nature and pertaineth to God himself, is the gift of divine revelation. Every bounty conferred by the Creator upon man, be it material or spiritual, is subservient unto this. So divine revelation is a gift in and of itself. And then he goes on to say, it is in its essence and will ever so remain the bread which cometh down from heaven. It is God's supreme testimony, the clearest evidence of his truth, the sign of his consummate bounty, the token of his all encompassing mercy, the proof of his most loving providence, the symbol of his most perfect grace. He hath indeed partaken of this highest gift of God, who hath recognized his manifestation in this day. Render thanks unto thy Lord for having vouchsafed unto thee so great a bounty. Lift up thy voice and say, all praise be to thee, O thou the desire of every understanding heart. That's what made me think about that song. But again, we're given the capability. We're given the capability to be aware of the need of recognizing God and the importance of God in our lives, and hopefully trying to, I don't know, just follow those teachings, follow, in the will of God. He actually goes on further when getting back into the seven valleys and the four valleys, and talks about how, all that being said, that I just read, you're still never going to actually know God. You're still never actually
Right.
going to know God, but you can learn about God through who?
His
His
manifestation.
manifestations, and that's what this is
Excuse
about.
me.
Kind of took the scenic route once again to make a trip. So right now we are in the Valley of Unity, and last week we ended with it was a little past this, but I'll go ahead and say this section that says, "Cleanse thou the room from out thine head, and breathe the breath of God instead." And what did you tell me room is again? This is RHEUM. What did you tell me room is again?
Basically, it's phlegm.
Yeah,
It's
get the gunk
mucus.
out.
Mucus.
Yes, and breathe the breath of God instead. Now, again, we are now in the Valley of Unity, and I again want to read just a brief synopsis of that valley, because this is a long in this book. This is one of the longer valleys that is discussed. And again, a simple definition or description of this valley is you start to see how everything is connected. You realize that we're all part of something bigger, and that there's a common thread running through all of existence. It's about breaking down the barriers that separate us and embracing our shared humanity. I don't think I said hi to Mike, so hi, Mike. How you doing? So that being said, we're going to go ahead and continue with today's readings. Darrell, would you choose to begin?
Sure. In some, the differences in objects have now been made plain. Thus, excuse me. Thus, when the wayfarer gazes only upon the place of appearance, that is, when he seeth only the many colored globes, he beholdeth yellow and red and white. Hence it is that conflict hath prevailed among the creatures, and a darksome dust from limited souls hath hid the world. And some do gaze upon the effulgence of the light, and some have drunk of the wine, excuse me, of oneness, and these see nothing but the sun itself. Can you read, please?
Yes, while you
I
get a
need,
drink of water. Sure.
yeah,
I do want to point
I
out
need
that, while you were reading this, and of course, I read it before, but think about the difference of standing very close to, let's say it's an abstract painting, and you're standing very close to it, and you can see all the separate little colors, but you can't see the whole thing. You just see the separate little colors. And as you move back, you can then kind of see the entire painting and see the value of all of it and how it all fits together. Now, that's me. That's not Baha'u'llah, and it fails big time in comparison. But it's just that kind of came to me. And it says, he goes on to say, thus, for that they move on these three different planes. Those planes being, once again, you already had your drink of water, but I'll just going to finish.
that's okay.
A darksome dust from limited souls hath hid the world. Some do gaze. I'm sorry. Hence it is that conflict hath prevailed among the creatures, and a darksome dust from limited souls hath hid the world. So there are some that can't see it at all. But then there are some that do gaze upon the effulgence of the light. They see the light. They don't really get it, but they see it. And some have drunk of the wine of oneness, and these see nothing but the sun itself. So in that particular case, it's kind of breaking people down into, souls down into three different categories: those that don't see anything at all, those who can see the lights, but they see them separately, and those that see them all as one. Okay, Daryl.
Thus, for that they move on these three differing planes. The understanding and the words of the wayfarers have differed, and hence the sign of conflict doth continually appear upon earth. For some there are who dwell upon the plane of oneness and speak of that world, and some inhabit the realms of limitation, and some the grades of self, while others are completely veiled.
Hmm.
Thus do the ignorant people of the day, who have no portion of the radiance of divine beauty, make certain claims, and in every age and cycle inflict on the people of the sea of oneness what they themselves deserve. Should God punish men for their diverse doings,
Perverse doings.
perverse doings, excuse me, should God punish men for their perverse doings, he would not leave on earth a moving thing, but to an appointed term doth he respite them. O my brother, a pure heart is as a mirror. Cleanse it with the burnish of love and severance from all save God, that the true sun may shine within it, and the eternal morning dawn. Then wilt thou clearly see the meaning of neither doth my earth nor my heaven contain me, but the heart of thy faithful servant containeth me. And thou wilt take up thy life in thine hand, and with infinite longing cast it before the new beloved one.
Okay, Daryl, I got to stop you there because that to me is a lot. I mean, it's a brief paragraph, but I mean, and some of that we should point out. A couple of these things that Daryl has just read actually are attributed to they're from the Quran. Okay, should God punish men for their perverse doings, he would not leave on earth a moving thing.
At all.
But to an appointed term does he respite them. And then he says, "O my brother, a pure heart." Think about that, O son of spirit. What is it? What's
Yeah.
the create? No, the prayer. This has created me a pure heart, oh my God. Yes. Okay, a pure heart is as a mirror. How do you cleanse the heart? He says, cleanse it with the burnish of love and severance from all save God, that the true sun may shine within it and the eternal morning dawn. And then it says, clearly wilt thou see the meaning of, and think about this phrase. This again is coming from the Quran, but neither, and think again, I should also point out, think of it, if you are trying to see anything that is even close to God, it says, neither doth my earth nor my heaven contain me. You can't see God on the earth, can't see it in heaven. But the heart of my faithful servant containeth me. The heart of my faithful servant containeth me, and thou wilt take up thy life in thine hand, and with infinite longing cast it before the new beloved one. That's in capitals. What is that a reference to? The new beloved one.
That's God. That's the manifestation.
The manifestation of God. Thou wilt take up thy life in thy hand, and with infinite longing cast it before the new beloved one. I'm done.
Whensoever the splendor of the King of oneness settleth upon the throne of the heart and soul, his shining becometh visible in every limb and member. At the time the mystery of the famed tradition gleaneth out of the darkness, a servant is drawn unto me in prayer until I answer him. And when I have answered him, I become the ear wherewith he heareth.
Mm.
For thus the master of the house hath appeared within his home, and all the pillars of the dwelling are ashine with his light. And the action and the effect of the light are from the light giver. So it is that all move through him and arise by his will. And this is that spring whereof the near ones drink, as it is said, a fount whereof the near unto God shall drink. However, let none construe these utterances to be anthropomorphism,
What?
nor,
What's that? How many letters are in that word? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let none construe these utterances to be anthropomorphism. No, I mean, obviously, I'm just being facetious, but I think it's important that we point out. Well, maybe I should just let
Well,
you finish the
I
sentence.
think you should define it
Okay, when we say
before we go on.
anthropomorphism, we're talking about giving human qualities to something. Think of the often the way that God is depicted. An old man, long beard, white hair, usually a white man. That is anthropomorphism. And Baha'u'llah here is saying, let none construe these utterances where he talks about a servant is drawn to me in prayer, and for thus the master of the house hath appeared within his home. But he is not talking about a human being, anything like a human being God. And so he's saying, let none construe these utterances to be anthropomorphism. I almost struggle to say the word anthropomorphism. And start that sentence again, and I'm going to let you finish it because to me, this is a very, 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 very important sentence.
Sure. However, let none construe these other utterances to be anthropomorphism, nor see them in the descent. Let me back up. However, let none construe these utterances to be anthropomorphism. I just like saying that word. Nor see them in the descent of the worlds of God into grades of the creatures, nor shall they lead thine eminence to such assumptions. For God is, in his essence, wholly above ascent and descent,
Going up and
entrance,
coming down.
entrance and exit. He hath through all eternity been free of the attributes of human creatures, and ever will remain so.
Yes.
I'm going to read that again.
Hmm.
He hath through all eternity been free of the attributes of human creatures, and ever will remain so.
I have to say this. I have to say this. Okay, Muslims, uh, they find it sacrilegious for anyone to, in any picture form, represent the Prophet Muhammad.
Hmm.
Okay, as Baha'is, we know that there indeed is a picture of Baha'u'llah, but we are not supposed to have that picture. We're not supposed to be worshiping that as any object of worship. And I read this, and I'm saying, and I read this, or just as you've read it, God is in his essence, wholly above ascent and descent, entrance and exit. He hath through all eternity been free of the attributes of human creatures and ever will remain so. Can you imagine on some level thinking of an individual, even a manifestation of God, as not being God's representative or a manifestation of God, but being God himself? And let's face it, many people think of that. How many people have said to you, oh, you believe in Jesus is God or Muhammad is God? And I've heard some people say, oh, so you think Baha'u'llah is God?
No.
None of them are God. They are manifestations
Right.
of God, the qualities of God, and so forth. And based on what we're reading here, they're as close as we can get
That's
to
right.
learning about God is through his manifestations. Okay.
No man hath ever known him. No soul hath ever found in the pathway to his being. No soul hath ever found the pathway to his being. Every mystic knower hath wandered far astray in the valley of the knowledge of him. Every saint hath lost his way in seeking to comprehend his essence. Sanctified is he above the understanding of the wise. Exalted is he above the knowledge of the knowing. The way is barred, and to seek it is impiety. His proof is his signs. His being is his evidence.
Okay. His proof is his signs, his being is his evidence. I mean, I of course take great liberties in just voicing my own opinions and so forth, which I always like to remind people have absolutely no authority whatsoever. But if you were to, the way is barred, and to seek it is impiety. His proof is his signs. His being is his evidence. I don't know. Is it even possible to break that down any simpler? Or
I don't think so.
I think, if we're talking about unity, we're talking about, again, this is one of those valleys, the valley of unity, on this journey, on this spiritual journey. First, we're told, if you expect to see God, forget about it. That's never going to happen. But we are told, okay, let's say you're looking for proof of God's existence. First of all, he exists in the human heart. But it says, the way is barred. The way, okay, what is it? Sanctified is he above the understanding of the wise, so you can never understand him. Exalted is he above the knowledge of the knowing, so you, no matter how smart you are, you're not gonna know God. The way is barred, and to seek it is impiety. To even seek it is irreverent. His proof is his signs. I wish I could just make full sense of that, but it seems to me if you want to see God, you got to look around. God is all around you.
That's right.
I'm assuming. I don't know. Mike, I saw Mike do this. I was like what? What's that again?
It says behind everything is God.
Oh, okay.
I
His
read it somewhere.
okay. Everything is God, and his being is his evidence.
Yeah.
It is sort of, hey, you don't have to look further than around you. His being is his evidence. It's still, I don't know. I try not to overcomplicate things. Nene still tells me sometimes I do. Maybe it's simpler than I'm making it out to be. But to me, it, it, it's easy to say. And yet, if it were as easy to do it, maybe we wouldn't need to read this book.
True.
Maybe. But the fact that we are talking about God means that this place that we are sitting in right now is blessed. And so we're going to do Blessed is the Spot. Blessed is the spot and the house and the place and the city and the heart and the mountain and the refuge and the cave and the valley and the land and the sea and the island and the meadow where mention of God hath been made, and His grace glorified. Blessed is the spot and the house and the place and the city and the hall and the mountain and the refuge and the cave and the valley and the land and the sea and the island and the meadow where mention of God have been made and His praise glorified. Blessed is the spot. It's from the Baha'i scriptures, directly words of Baha'u'llah. Now that is not a hidden word. It is not a hidden word. Am I correct?
No, it's not.
Is it in Gleanings? I don't know what it's in. We'll talk about some of them. We only have so much time. Okay, but it's a very, very one of the probably, I think for many Baha'is, certainly for me, I can only speak personally, that was one of the first passages from the writings that, I don't know if I want to say that really struck a chord, but certainly that was shared with me. Blessed is the spot, and has been put to music many, many, many times. And this is not an original melody; it's just one that we do. But this is not our arrangement at all. Ha! So I
Go
guess I
for
should
it.
start reading. The way
Yes.
is barred, and to seek it is impiety. His proof is his signs. His being is his evidence. His being is his evidence. It's almost like the sky is blue. Well, what is that? It's blue. Look at it. Well, not today. It's raining here, but anyway. Wherefore, the lovers of the face of the beloved one have said, O thou, the one whose essence alone showeth the way to his essence, and who is sanctified above any likeness to his creatures. That's from the again from I want to say the Prophet Muhammad. Yes. Um, how can utter nothingness gallop its steed in the field of pre-existence, or a fleeting shadow reach to the everlasting sun? The friend, in this case, this is a reference to the Prophet Muhammad. The friend hath said, but for thee we had not known thee. And the beloved, also a reference to Muhammad, hath said, nor attained thy presence. I'll read that again. How can utter nothingness gallop its steed in the field of pre-existence, or a fleeting shadow reach to the everlasting sun? The friend hath said, but for thee we had not known thee. And the beloved hath said, nor attained thy presence. Yea, these mentionings that have been made of the grades of knowledge relate to the knowledge of the manifestations of the Son of Reality, which casteth its light upon the mirrors. I'll read that again, because that manifestations of the Son of Reality is a reference to the manifestations of God. Yea, these mentionings that have been made of the grades of knowledge relate to the knowledge of the manifestations of that Son of Reality, which casteth its light upon the mirrors. And the splendor of that light is in the hearts, yet it is hidden under the veilings of sense and the conditions of this earth. It's in you, but it's hidden by all this stuff under the veilings of sense and the conditions of this earth, even as a candle within a lantern of iron. And only when the lantern is removed, doth the light of the candle shine out. In like manner, when thou strippest the wrappings of illusion, oh my goodness, wow. In like manner, when thou strippest the wrappings of illusion from off thine heart, the lights of oneness will be made manifest.
Unity.
Yes. Then it is clear that even for the rays, wow, then it is clear that even for the rays there is neither entrance nor exit. How much less for the essence of being and that longed for mystery? O my brother, journey upon these plains in the spirit of search, not in blind imitation. A true wayfarer will not be kept back by the bludgeon of words, nor debarred by the warning of illusions. In this case, allusions, A-L-L, not I-L-L, by the warning of illusions. How shall a curtain part the lover and the loved one? Not Alexander's wall can separate them. Now, this is a reference to Hafiz Shamsuddin Muhammad, one of the greatest of Persian poets. So that's a line from a Persian poem. How shall a curtain part the lover and the loved one? Nor Alexander's wall can separate them. Excuse me. Secrets are many, but strangers are myriad. Volumes will not suffice to hold the mystery of the beloved one, nor can it be exhausted in these pages, although it be no more than a word, no more than a sign. Knowledge is a single point, but the ignorant have multiplied it. I don't know if this is what that means. It sounds like it means they have made it so much more complicated than it really
It should
is.
be, right.
Yes, it's really very simple. And while it may be simple, it may be, I don't know if it's as simple to discuss. But yeah, knowledge is a single point, but the ignorant have multiplied it. And so we're going to stop there. Again, we're in the Valley of Unity in the Seven Valleys. And I don't know, it looks like, why am I shaking? It looks like we may finish next week. Oh, not in this book, but just in this particular valley. Yeah. And so it is at this time that, as always, we like to welcome anyone who would like to share a prayer. I didn't say hello to Gilbert. Hello, Gilbert, in our Zoom.
Good morning.
Yes. We always like to, anyone who would like to share a prayer or a reading or a song, this is that time. And I see that Terry has unmuted himself. So, Terry, would you please?
Aloha. Sure.
Aloha.
Thou seest me, O my Lord, with my face turned towards the heaven of thy bounty, and the ocean of thy favor, withdrawn from all else besides thee. I ask of thee by the splendors of the sun of thy revelation on Sinai, and the effulgences of the orb of thy grace, which shineth from the horizon of thy name, the ever forgiving, to grant me thy pardon and have mercy upon me. Write down then for me with thy pen of glory, which will exalt me through thy name in the world of creation. Aid me, O my Lord, to set my face towards thee, and to hearken unto the voice of thy loved ones. When the powers of the earth have failed to weaken, and the dominion of the nations have been powerless to withhold from thee, who, advancing towards thee, have said, God is our Lord, the Lord of all who are in heaven and all on earth. That's a prayer from Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yes, thank you, Terry. Thank you very much.
لبها ای جمال لبها ای حضرت کبریا این سرگشتگان گمگشتگان کوی توان و سودایان روی تو عنایتی فرما تا غروب جلوگاه روی تو گردد و صدور آتشکده های پرسوز انوار اسرار بر سرائر بتابد و پرتوی بینش بر بصائر زند. Ein, ein.
Thank you, Dehabes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Well, then, we move on to the next chapter. Act 4, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, we always like to point out that, again, first of all, I think we should always, I probably need to say thanks for joining us a lot more often. We're so glad for those of you who decide to get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and log on through Zoom or find us through Facebook. And also those people who may stream this afterwards. We do look at how many people, click on it, stream it, and so forth and so on. And we always appreciate it. I noticed that Terry's in the Zoom, but he's also in Facebook, and he's helping us by putting in little notes and references in the Facebook feed.
Excellent.
So anyone who comes along later, they can see those things that we are referring to at particular points. I really appreciate that, Terry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You just got a job. That's a phenomenal idea. That's fantastic. But thank you. And I like to say good morning to my cousin John there. He always joins us. I love that. Um, yeah, but we always like to point out again that this is an effort coming together by a variety of people from different communities. And we always like the fact that we need to express our appreciation, our thanks, and our joy that other people would choose to be a part of this effort.
For
Uh,
sure.
huh?
For sure.
Absolutely. And of course, as always, one thing we don't talk about very often is okay, yeah, we always say if you want to learn more about the Baha'i faith, you can go to these various websites. And well, I'll go ahead and finish that. And what are those websites, Daryl?
www.baha'i.org, www.baha'i.us, www.bahaiteachings.org, or to the Clearwater Baha'i Center website at www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
But I have a question.
And your question is?
What if someone has decided that this faith, these teachings, this manifestation answers many of their questions on their spiritual quest that we are all supposed to be a part of? What if someone decides that they would indeed like to become a member of the Baha'i faith? That's something we really don't talk about very much.
That's true.
And it's really very simple.
Yes.
There are some, if you have Baha'is in your area, you can actually, you mentioned Baha'i.org, you can actually contact Baha'i.org and they can actually put you in contact with people in your area, or Baha'i.us. I think it's probably a better.
Either one.
Okay, either one, and
Yes.
put you in. But there are some people who have actually studied online.
Yes.
And it resonated with them, and they decided this is what I've been looking for. Okay. Sometimes there are people from other faiths. Sometimes there are people who are of no who are of no particular faith, but they've seen the importance of nurturing their spiritual being. And there's something in these teachings that resonate with them. And if you happen to be one of those people, the truth is you could go to one of those websites. There is a form that you'd fill out.
Yes.
And it's a very simple form. It's not a long, wordy thing. It's just a very simple form. And in so doing, you would be declaring, your acceptance of Baha'u'llah and the Baha'i faith as, again, the spiritual walk that you want to take. And it doesn't mean, for those of you who are coming from other religious traditions, you're not turning your back on Jesus. You're not turning your back on Muhammad. You're not turning your back on any other manifestation of God. Because recall, we see them all as
As
one. Yeah,
manifestation.
they are all manifestations of God. But God's revelation, we believe in progressive revelation, and God's revelation is ongoing. The Baha'i revelation, that revelation from Baha'u'llah, is simply the latest in this ongoing process of divine revelation. And it is actually the fulfillment of much, much, much prophecy. And we have a hand here in the room. Yes, Nini?
Oh, I don't understand why people have to declare.
Why they have to declare? It is no different from taking the walk in a Christian church, taking that walk up front. You can still feel the same way.
It's
It's
pretty,
an act of commitment.
yeah, and it's a registration process.
Oh, and that's something else. I'm glad you said that.
It's a registration process.
Yes,
If you join a church, they're going to get your information so that they can contact you and make sure that you get the things that you need to be part of that church.
that's something that's.
And there's not the declaration process is as much a registration as it is a declaration of your belief in Baha'u'llah.
But
Um,
nowadays, a lot of people believe in God and then they don't declare anything.
and they
That's
what?
true. That's true.
They believe in God and
So
what?
They
I would
don't
like I
declare
would like to
anything.
know more. Why do we have to declare?
Well, I think that you know what. I'm glad you said that thing about administration and inclusion. When you declare, certainly you are declaring your belief that Baha'u'llah is the manifestation of God in this day. But you also, on some level, become a part of a community.
Right.
See, I think
It's
about spirituality versus religion. They are not the same thing. They are
So
often
so
linked.
can it be more clear, like basic, like you join a group and you're a group member and then you could develop the group better?
Say that again.
yeah, that's part of it.
Okay.
Oh, so
Definitely that's
your
part of it.
development in a group. Oh, so you kind of knew the answer to your own question. But yeah, I mean, when you said administration and so forth, I think about okay, so my being a Baha'i, our being Baha'is, what do we get out of it? Because one thing we don't talk a lot about is the benefits, you know, about being included in this community. Well, number one, yeah, it can connect you with other people.
Yes.
Yes. Also, you can be a part of various activities and so forth and so on. You can help grow the faith, and you also get information from the National Spiritual Assembly. I see your hand, Nini, but you get information on a regular basis from the National Spiritual Assembly. You get letters of guidance that help you maintain your faith and get the larger picture on a global scale. Yes, Nini.
No, because a lot of people know about Christian, right? Christian church, how they run and stuff like that. Why you have to join a church? Because it's a building, and then you have to support the pastor. You have to support the faith. You have to support, and then they will tell you all those stuff. And then, but the main cause is you're supposed to like committed with following Jesus Christ and
Uh,
become a Christian, like
mhm.
baptism, and then you find a church and you plug yourself into the church. So a lot of people, I don't think they know about Baha'i, and they also don't know what. Okay, if I declare with Baha'i, what do I have to do? Because to them it's a new thing. I think you guys should speak a little bit more about
Talk
that
more
kind of
more about that.
information.
Sure.
Didn't know I would be opening up a can of worms. But I agree with everything you've said, Nini. And I think sometimes maybe one of those things that we could possibly, no, we clearly could improve upon is publicizing and promoting the faith. There are efforts constantly being done, and there are those people that it resonates with, and others that it doesn't. But we still need to maintain and continue our efforts to get the teachings of the faith out there, and to also get the idea of community out there. It certainly anyone could practice any faith in isolation, but I think that sense of community, we're social beings. Spirituality can be very individual, but practice in groups, we help each other grow. We help each
True.
other grow.
True.
And
That sense of community.
yeah, exactly, that sense of community. Yes. And that's something that we should always be continuing to work on to maintain. Thank you so much for that question, Nini. I'm glad you asked that. That was not rehearsed. I think next time you're going to have to write it out on a card, give it to us before we begin, so we can have an answer to your questions. And we only have about 3 minutes left. So Daryl, is there anything you'd like to say? And you've been gone for a while, and
I've been gone for a while. My request is the same as it always is, and that is um, simply that if you happen to be one of the people on the planet who is loved, then you're truly blessed. And the only thing I request is that you share that love. And in the process of doing so, I guarantee you will make this world a better place. Thank you all for joining us. Allow Pa.
for some reason I've completely forgotten the drum beat we use, so I'm just going to do the last verse. Apparently, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not getting any volume. Let your vision be world embracing. Maybe that's what it's all about. Creating that vision. Let your vision, creating that vision of seeing the entire world as one, be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let it be world embracing. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let it be world embracing. Watch over yourselves, for the evil one is lying in wait, ready to entrap you. They're everywhere, folks. Gird yourselves against his wicked devices, and led by the light of the name of the all-seeing God, make your escape from the darkness that surrounded you. Let your vision be world-embracing, rather than confined to your own self. These are the words of Baha'u'llah. Let your vision be world-embracing. I'm gonna go let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be world embracing. Bye, Yuda. Have a good week, folks.
Take care.